Hello everyone and welcome back to Box Office Banter, your favorite box office recap show on the entire internet. I'm Tanner Dykstra, joined as always by my good friend, co-host, and fellow box office enthusiast, Tucker Hazel. Tucker, today we are here to talk about perhaps one of the most momentous and I don't even know what other used. What did you say?
I said riotous.
Riotous, momentous, historic months in box office history. Not even modern box office history. We are, of course, going to talk about the goings-on of May 2026. The highs, the lows, the surprising highs, and the, things that percolate in the middle as they often do.
Mm-hmm.
But we got some big movies, some surprise big movies to talk about, as I'm sure that you, dear viewer, are aware. So let's not suspend the suspense anymore and get right into it. Suspending the suspense. You like that?
Suspenders. I would just throw another word in there.
I do have to put a pin in the suspense. I gotta bring the suspense back up just for a moment to say that you should be subscribed to Backlot Banter.
Sure.
You should like this video.
Sure.
And if you want to talk about more box office things or movie stuff or just things in general, you can join our Discord server. That link is in the description. Okay, Tucker. So let's go ahead and... You like that? I was doing my like a Walter Cronkite.
Yeah, no, I know. You're doing a little bit of an announcery kind of thing. You turn that on for the intro, and then it kind of peters away.
Well, it dissipates. Tucker, let's get casual.
Okay.
Let's get casual with it.
Pop open a couple buttons.
Crack
a Mai Tai. Yeah. I don't even know what's in a Mai Tai.
I couldn't really tell you either. Probably a rum of some kind. I'd have to assume. It's a tropical drink.
Yeah.
Or is Mai Tai isn't that a fighting style as well?
Tai Chi.
Real casual. We're getting
Tai Chi is.
Tai Chi.
I sincerely doubt Muay Thai.
Muay Thai. I think it might be Muay Thai. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Yeah, okay.
Let's talk about movies.
May 2026. The domestic openings at the box office. We have our top 10 here, so let's roll right into it. At number 1 is Star Wars: The Mandalorian and Grogu. This is the 4-day Memorial Day weekend opening, just so everyone is aware, which is largely why it has that number 1 spot. I will actually go ahead and pull up its 3-day, just for those who are curious. But following up pretty closely, surprisingly closely from many traditional box office-minded people, I would say, is Backrooms at number 2.
Yeah, which is funny.
81.
That looking at that and talking about it, we're like, oh my god, well that's got to be the story of this month. No, it's one of them.
Not even. Yes, it certainly is. And let's see here, Tucker. Even with the 3-day, Mandalorian and Grogu would still be number 1 by. You want to guess the margin?
750,000.
$200,000.
Holy shit, that's even smaller. Oh my god.
Yes, it is. The Mandalorian over its 3-day made $81.6
So the ranking is still accurate. Certain people decide if they want to count a 4-day opening weekend or not. We usually err on the side of that.
We usually do.
It's like maybe that's unfair, but like it's going to be the biggest movies that get that bump anyway. So.
Because Memorial Day, for example, that holiday is on a Monday, and so I can see just counting a 3-day or whatever. But like, for example, like doing a Thanksgiving or a Christmas or even like a 4th of July coming up, movies, those movies will open on like Wednesdays or whatever, which gets, for my mind, just gets a little hairy when you're like, oh, what's the opening weekend? But people were going to the movie 2 days earlier.
Yeah, multiple days before that. Yeah.
Exactly.
But so, as you mentioned,
Tucker,
it's not,
number 3.
It's not, it doesn't change much it doesn't change anything actually for our order in here. But number 3, again, not that far behind. The Devil Wears Prada 2, a long in the making legacy sequel, coming in hot and heavy at $76 million domestic opening.
Yes.
And then, now we take a solid drop. Take a back seat.
Shift down. We'll downshift a few.
Yeah. Mortal Kombat 2, $38 million. Not terrible. A totally solid opening.
Not terrible. Perfectly fine. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, and then Obsession at $17 million, and we will definitely be talking about that one.
We'll certainly be talking about that.
Rounding out the top 10.
Is the Sheep is the Sheep Detectives at number 6. The horror movie Passenger, directed by Andre Overdahl, at number 7.
I didn't hear anyone talk about that movie.
No, I mean, it came out like the same weekend as The Mandalorian and Grogu, the week after Obsession, like the week before Backrooms, and so it really did just get swallowed up. Though it's I've taken a peek at its box office results. It's doing fine.
Yeah, we don't have a slide for Passenger.
We don't have a slide for it. No. We have The Breadwinner, another film we don't have a slide for, at number 8. Billie Eilish, Hit Me Hard and Soft, the tour live in 3D, a film that we do have a slide for
Billy,
because I did want to talk about it.
I wouldn't hit you hard or soft. That's just me.
And at number 10, we have Hokum as well, coming from Neon.
Everything else you got something to say about. You're like, number 10, we have Hokum. Okay.
Number 10, we have Hokum, which is, but honestly performing about as well as, like, indie horror movies usually do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's decently rare to see those pop up in top 10, so I was like,
yeah. So, Tucker, we have our predictions for what the top 5 would be.
Yes.
Safe to say we were a little off. We were a little off with some of these.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and pull up my numbers here. Because we both had Mandalorian and Grogu at number 1, which it certainly was, technically, but by all metrics was number 1 at the domestic box office. Exactly. Let's see here. May, I found it here. I said 90 for Mandalorian and Grogu.
Take it.
I'll give myself that. 98. Yeah. 98, yeah. Devil Wars Part 2, I said 80. 76, also very close. Mortal Kombat 2, I said 40.
Take it.
Pretty close.
Good Lord, Tanner. The therapy's working. We've spent straight up
working.
like 2 years trying to get you to be a little bit better about your predictions on like what things you're gonna open to. And you're 3 for 3 of like, actually, I'll give it to you. Now, Backrooms, this is a special case.
Backrooms, Backrooms, I said 25.
Yes. So,
it did almost 4 times that, 3 times that, basically. And then we both had Hit Me Hard and Soft in our top 5. I said it would make $15 million opening weekend. It made half of that in its opening.
Interesting.
So,
and we'll talk about that.
I mean, we'll talk about, Obsession, notably absent from our predictions here, as it was from many, I assume. But let's go ahead and spin into what
it's funny to say something like that, though. It's like, well, it's probably going to be missing from most people's top 5 predictions for domestic opening weekends of the month. Tanner, most people don't do that.
We don't do that. It's a pretty unique thing. Yeah. This particular thing that we carry over from month to month. Yes.
Yeah. Some people will do their like one of the top 5 week, but that's also still rare. I think what we do is probably rare, but who gives a fuck?
Yeah, we do the month opening weekend.
Domestic
is what we exactly. Interesting.
But I love doing it. I love doing it.
We're some interesting beasts.
We've been doing this for what? For like 3.5 years now. So it's like like, oh no, this is like the thing that people do. No, it's fucking not.
Absolutely.
No, it's not.
We basically open and close the show with this every week, basically. So yes, the cinema score in Rotten Tomatoes. Everything is got a pretty solid score all around. No rotten films, though. The Mandalorian and Grogu is close.
And Tanner, far be it from me. Far be it from both of us to say. Should be.
Should be. It's a 62%, I want to say. We'll look at it on the slide here in a bit.
That's fair. That's like higher than I would go, but I'm like, some people have fun with it. So like, we're not going to shit on it, but that movie fucking blows.
Perhaps, the least successful movie that we'll be talking about this month, Hit Me Hard and Soft, it did get the highest cinema score and a certified fresh Rotten Tomatoes score as well. And you just have a grouping of certified fresh stuff at the top there.
Amazing.
Backrooms, Hit Me Hard and Soft, Obsession, Sheep Detectives. Sheep Detectives, shout out, is at like a fucking 98% on Rotten Tomatoes or something. I mean, it's a likable movie.
Yeah,
it's a very likable movie. And then, Hit Me, I won't say it again. The Devil Wears Prada 2 is operating in the middle there. Not quite certified fresh, I don't think. But people, critics like that one, and people like all of these movies. Basically, I mean, even Backrooms with a B- is
it's
pretty standard stuff.
Well, here's the thing:
for
it's fine, and that fine a cinema score is the only thing Backrooms doesn't have going for it. Exactly. So that's just like like hand wave that away. People actually, I mean, obviously, the Rotten Tomatoes is frankly more important than cinema score in like the long term, I think. And also people are seeing it, so like who gives a turkey?
Studios advertise the Rotten Tomatoes score. Yeah. Studios don't advertise like they don't put like it got a A- on cinema score in the trailers or anything.
And also
like that.
Broadly, in terms of what people know and understand about a film's reception and popularity, Rotten Tomatoes is something that's broadly culturally understood. I could go and ask multiple of my family members who barely see movies. They'd probably understand that concept, maybe have heard of it before. Yeah. People don't really know outside of the industry about cinema score.
And here's the other thing. Here's the funny thing about Rotten Tomatoes is that a lot of people know what it is, but they also don't fully grasp what that score means. They think of it like a grade when in fact it's just the share of critics who liked the movie or didn't like the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are 98% likely to enjoy Sheep Detectives.
Exactly. That is what the Rotten Tomatoes score means. Yeah. Okay. Phil, Tucker, let's start with the movie that opened up May. What's that?
Cinema score actually is kind of the grade thing, where it's an average of like the score that people would give it. So like that's probably what people think Rotten Tomatoes is.
I don't know. Or if you're really in the weeds, you look at the Metacritic. If you're a real fucking nerd, you look at the Metacritic. Yeah.
We do that a little bit, but no, we do. We do IMDb.
Yeah, IMDb. We track IMDb. Yes, we do. The movie that opened up the summer. The movie that opened up the summer was The Devil Wears Prada 2.
And you're telling me the movie called The Devil has made $666 million so far?
I was just updating the numbers because I had it at 665, and then I just checked thenumbers.com and I saw, that's perfect. It's perfect. They updated their estimate on the worldwide total of $666 million. Tucker, this is a certified hit. 6 weeks?
6 weeks?
Is that right?
Yeah, I mean May 1st
you're right.
the middle of June. Yeah.
Good point. On a budget of $180 million, this is a certifiable hit for 20th Century Studios and Disney. I mean they're very, very happy with this result, I would have to imagine, and I'm sure they're talking about a Devil Wears Prada 3, etc., etc. But I mean I think like it's fair to say like the star has risen basically on all of these actors that we see on the poster in the last 20 years, essentially.
I see what you're saying. I thought you were going to be like, well, Devil Wears Prada 2 is what made him a star. And I was going to be like, Tanner, I don't know if you've heard. People know about Meryl Streep.
Well, Meryl Streep, would you say that Meryl Streep is more famous now than she was 20 years ago?
No, I don't think that's true.
No, but Anne Hathaway, Emily Blunt, certainly.
Definitely true. Stanley Tucci, I think he's got his cooking show. People love that fucking.
That's true. I think he's more of a brand than he was certainly 20 years ago. He's got an HBO show. He's got a cookbook. He's got all this stuff. I mean, I just wanted to jot down some interesting things here because we talked about this a couple of years ago. 2 years ago was The Fall Guy, right? 2024?
Correct.
Yes, because last year the summer opener, which is always a sort of film that we like to think about, is what opens up the summer. What's that first week of May kind of movie, or if, in the case of Avengers Endgame, the last week of April, if you want to get nasty.
But we're not going to be like, Avengers Endgame didn't open the summer season.
No, exactly. We're not stupid. Exactly. We like to talk about the summer opener as the kickoff to the summer movie blockbuster season. And 2 years ago, when we talked about The Fall Guy, it was sort of worth noting that was the first non-superhero film to open up the summer since I believe it was Mission Impossible 3 in 2006 as well. This is the first female-led summer season opener that I could find anyway, that in my estimation, since Mean Girls in 2004.
It's also important to note that the idea of the summer season and having a major blockbuster to open it is not something that's always been around, and so Mean Girls was probably more coincidentally that week than like, we're gonna start the summer season for the box office in 2004.
Exactly. I mean, it's really shifted just based on the number of like blockbusters that studios are interested in making now, and making movies that have over $150 million budget. That they're hoping to make $750 $1 billion on or whatever. Like that only really started in the era of like your Marvel movies and stuff like that. Previously, the summer opener was like Memorial Day weekend, and now we've really just kind of pushed that back. But yes, a very, very successful film. People like it. It's got the A- cinema score, 77 on Rotten Tomatoes. We weren't too big of fans of it. We did do a review for it, but I think we both have it at 2.5 stars on Letterboxd. Is that right for you as well?
Fine. I think that
it's fine.
It's definitely watchable, but I think that it's just it ends up for me feeling a little bit inert by the end. It's like, like what are we doing? Like I think that the weirdest part is like, the characters like kind of don't change from the. It's like I thought that they were like, be like, oh man, we're all like buddies now. But it's like kind of, but not really. It's like it's weird.
Yeah. It's just got a weird patina to it. I guess is
also Tanner. I'm like trying to explain this, but I haven't seen this movie in like 5 weeks, so it's like I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. It's a while ago, and you know what? It sort of leaves the memory pretty quickly. It is, in my estimation, a little bit disposable. I think. Anyway, I noted this down here as well because this is something to track across a few movies that we'll be talking about.
Yep.
Is the female audience. Sure. There's a lot of movies that came out this month that succeeded based on that demographic, especially 75% of the opening weekend for The Devil Wears Prada 2 was female.
Yeah.
63% over 25, 23% under 25. It was also like. I just saw it was like 3% of the opening weekend audience was men under 25, which is pretty funny. And
which Tanner, you're not a part of anymore.
No, we're over 25 now.
Interesting.
We're 25 and over, I guess, is technically probably the cutoff there.
Yeah,
25 plus.
But I also just do want to mention, like, that's a very mid movie for me, very forgettable ultimately. But like, people broadly seem to like it, and it does appeal strongly to a very different kind of audience than the two of us are in. Where both of us are, like, I would say we like the original Devil Wears Prada. We don't have a ton of nostalgia.
I think I rewatched it in the lead up to the sequel, and I think that is a legitimately great movie that actually has some pretty interesting stuff in it. I think Anne Hathaway's character, Andy Sachs, has a really interesting arc in it.
One of the best overweight characters in cinema.
Yes, it does. It does do that thing. But I would say that it's a little bit of like the 2000s beauty standards thing, and also it understands its characters of being like they're in the fashion industry, they're all awful to each other, and they all judge each other's bodies, etc., etc. But I was underwhelmed by the sequel. I would say, especially having rewatched the first film the night before. I think. Yeah.
But it is interesting to note that even something like this, that is I would say non-traditional legacy sequel, right? Devil Wears Prada to this point wasn't an IP. It wasn't like something that people were necessarily clamoring for, but it does show that iconic actors, a brand that people recognize, it is something that can put butts in seats, even if it's not, a big summer blockbuster in the traditional sense. It's not an action movie. It's not a it's not a thriller. It's not a superhero movie. Anything like that. People really, really went to see it, and this was a massive moneymaker. And we've seen. We've seen Disney with their Fox properties and some of their, more original Disney properties try to do this kind of thing. But this is the first time that I think it's like really broken out and be like, okay, no. We like for every Devil Wears Prada 2, there's gonna be 2 or 3 that don't quite land.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they'll continue to do this with the properties that they own here. I think we're also seeing we'll see a repeat of this kind of movie getting a legacy sequel later this fall with Practical Magic 2. Very similar female-led film that was a success, over 20 years ago, but has sort of grown a following on streaming and things like that.
Also with massive stars in it.
Absolutely, big stars who are still in the public consciousness. I think I'll be interested to see, because like obviously I knew The Devil Wears Prada as like a famous movie. Practical Magic was not a movie that I really knew to have that sort of cultural standing. No,
definitely, it definitely doesn't. No, but I think it's closer to Freakier Friday, where it's like popular with a very specific kind of Disney Channel demographic. But that's not a. It's a big audience, and it's not a broad audience, and so we'll have to see. Because Freaky Friday is, frankly, the movie that I was kind of incorporating in my mind.
Thinking about
Devil Wears Prada 2. And Freaky Friday did not hit big. I was just looking at the box office. Off the top of your head, global box office Freaky Friday?
350?
150.
150. Wow, you're right. Yeah, I remember even us talking about that. I was like, oh, wait, that was a pretty surprising hit, actually.
No, to be fair, $45 million budget. Definitely a moneymaker for Disney.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
not a breakout hit like this one.
No, I think you also have to look at like the scale of something like this. Whereas The Devil Wears Prada 2 it's a little bit globetrotting. They're obviously using luxury brands and stuff like that. And the Freakier Friday 2, Freakier Friday, was probably supposed to be like a Disney Plus movie.
I think it literally was. Yeah,
I think it literally was.
So yeah, when we get Sister Act 3, Tanner.
Yeah, I mean, they keep threatening to. There's a looming threat that they will make Sister Act 3. Anyway.
1 week later, Tanner, different movie.
1 week later, we got Mortal Kombat 2. Operating, aiming for a very different demographic to get out to theaters, I guess I would say. I also wanted to, I really want to talk about this because, Tucker, do you remember this movie was supposed to come out in October?
Yes, it was. Yeah.
And usually when these kinds of movies get delayed or whatever, it's part of a, larger slate being moved around for business reasons, or, a film that needs more time in the oven, a movie that needs more post-production time or whatever. That was presumably not the case with Mortal Kombat 2. It was supposed to come out in, late 2025 for Warner Brothers, a year when Warner Brothers was having a fucking hell of a year.
Yeah, they were.
If you can just remember back a few months ago. And what they moved, seemingly the reason that they moved it was to have sort of a presence in the summer blockbuster season.
Yeah.
Not really needing that fall win. It seems that they decided.
Well, they did have fall wins, but.
They did have fall win, not needing another one, potentially. And I think I heard that they moved this because the testing was quite positive with test audiences, and we could see that, it's got a 6.6 on IMDb, a B cinema score, and I would say a fairly kind Rotten Tomatoes score on this one.
Sure.
I mean, for a film that I think is... I won't use the word objectively, but I'm like, we could be serious here that this is, the best thing you can kind of say about it, it is dumb fun.
Sure.
Which I assume lots of people are looking for in their summer blockbusters. But yeah, I mean, is it that market light? It is better than the first one, I would say, in 2021. I was going to say, I was looking at the Rotten Tomatoes score down there, 55%. Yeah. Anyway, but yes, I just wanted to note that here that, like, what do we think that this was a successful move for Warner Brothers to take it out of October, move it to early May, and get this result of $128 million so far out of it?
It's not going to make much more.
It's not going to make much more. It's got a budget of 80, and so, all things considered, this is a very cheap blockbuster for Warner Brothers.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
So they're probably fine with this, I would assume. Mm-hmm. I think they were probably hoping for a little bit of a better result.
Yeah. No, I think so. And I'm actually just looking back, like, how did it have done last October? Tron Ares was one of the big movies. That didn't do... It could have coexisted with that, I think.
It could have coexisted and maybe brought
Black Phone 2. I think it could have coexisted with that. I think honestly, frankly, and I don't blame Warner Brothers for this. I think if you look at the lineup of movies this month, discounting Mandalorian and Grogu, you see the lineup is Backrooms, Devil Wears Prada 2, and Obsession, and they're probably like, well, yeah, Mortal Kombat can probably
squeeze this in there easily.
Those. Like, that's not
absolutely
that big of a deal. What they were not counting on is in all three of those circumstances, them massively overperforming. Those three movies are the reason why this is a historic box office month. Mandalorian, Grogu, and Mortal Kombat 2, the two most traditional summer blockbuster IP movies, they're fine. They contributed to it, certainly.
They're a little soft, I would say,
they're definitely a little soft. And that's, I think, why this month is so energizing for the box office, why people are so excited about it. And we'll get to those movies in a little bit, or the smaller ones in a little bit. Is that it's like, okay, maybe the tides are turning a little bit. Maybe there is this kind of influx of box office appetite for something that's not quite... All right, this is the 4th Mortal Kombat movie, the 11th Star Wars movie, something
like that.
And so I think that I don't blame them for shifting it out of last year into this year into a month where it's like, look, Mortal Kombat 2 and Devil Wears Prada 2, like, that's a different audiences, and they're right. But
certainly.
like, people just went to those other ones, and I don't know necessarily what it is about Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat is, is it bigger now than it was back in the day? Like, it's
a great question. I mean, you're more of the video game industry guy than I am, certainly. I mean, they release a game every several years. I mean, when was the last Mortal Kombat game released? 2022?
23?
24?
23? Mortal Kombat 1. You played that game.
Yeah, I played that one. It's a pretty good one, but it's Mortal Kombat. Like, it's kind of what you're getting kind of thing. Sure. It's that kind of series now, and this is the highest grossing film in the in that sort of film franchise. But it's not going up against necessarily stiff competition. I mean, you had the first one, which was a hit, certainly,
or the actual first one.
The actual first one back in the 90s, which was a hit, and then you had Annihilation, which was sort of derided immediately as one of the worst movies ever made.
Sure.
And then you had Mortal Kombat
so bad,
2021.
It killed the franchise.
Killed the franchise for a few decades until the new one came out, was planned to come out, and then was part of, Warner Brothers, HBO's Project Popcorn, released simultaneously in theaters and on HBO Max. And this one is the sort of, triumphant return of 5 years later.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it also took a weirdly long amount of time to get this movie made, strangely. I don't know if they'll be quicker on the turnaround next time or what. If they do end up making a third film, which I think they probably will.
Yeah. I don't know what they would fix. I mean, I would say probably a stronger directorial hand might help just the quality level be bumped up. Sure. I think there's a good amount of good stuff in Mortal Kombat 2, but it's not it's not putting butts in seats because it's this is really interesting. You're going to see it because it's something you recognize. So I hope that they do, because I actually kind of liked Mortal Kombat 2, and certainly a lot more than the 2021 one, and also a lot more than the original one. I don't like either of those movies almost at all. But I'd be interested to see, but I'm not holding my breath for it. If this is where it ends, this is where it ends.
Sure. That's fine. Should we talk some Sheep Detectives, Tucker?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sheep Detectives on a budget of $75 million, which is, first blush, I would say does sound pretty steep for, a movie like this. But you also got to consider, we're doing a lot of VFX stuff.
Course,
we're completely CGI animating several, over a dozen, sheep characters, basically. And they do look pretty high fidelity. They do look pretty solid most of the time. Otherwise, it's a pretty standard, small English town. There's not a lot of production in the rest of the film. But, you gotta get the sheep to look good in Sheep Detectives. And they do. It has made $116 million so far. It opened to $15 million basically in the lead up to Mother's Day weekend. And this is another one where I wanted to point out that, they opened it around this time, very, very intelligently, I would say. Opening weekend audience was 56% female. This is obviously a family film as well. It performed well with family and child audiences. Very high recommend, must see now or must see soon from scores from kids who were polled. It performed best in the Midwest and mountain states, interestingly, not something that you usually see. But, it's very wholesome and things like that. It's a very nice movie that obviously people were really in the bag for. 95% on Rotten Tomatoes, a 7.6 on IMDb, an A cinema score. People like this one.
Yeah. I actually even had a couple of friends be like, "Oh, have you heard about the Sheep Detectives?" And I'm like, for me, actually, not really. is the answer. I know that some of you guys saw it, but I didn't, and I'm surprised to see people kind of asking me about it, because it is not to me. It feels like something that should have come out in 2007, and it feels kind of. This would work a lot better if I was watching it on DVD at someone else's house. This is something that my aunt would have.
Tucker, you'll be watching it on Amazon. The kids will be watching it on Amazon Prime at somebody's house
this
now.
This is MGM movie?
Is the Amazon MGM film. This is their second win after, not nearly as big, not anywhere near as big as Project Hail Mary. But this is part of their push to be we're doing movies theatrically, especially this summer. Yeah. They had Project Hail Mary, they had Sheep Detectives, and then just a week ago they had Masters of the Universe. Sort of a steady decline in the box office results for those three films.
But also important to note that, and as we've been tracking on Amazon MGM over the last few years, that you're right, it's a push for them, because traditionally over the last few years they haven't really cared about the theatrical performance of their films. They're like, look, really, we're making these, put them out in theaters, people see them, whatever, get a little bit of buzz, doesn't really matter. People are going to watch them on Prime, and that's where we're really going to get the eyes on them. That's where the value is in their minds. And so all three of these movies are making money for them, which is a lot more money than not putting it out in theaters.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing they've always said, and you can call it copium from Amazon if you want, but the thing they've always said is they're really only concerned with making the marketing budget back, or either or. They don't necessarily need to double, because it's an asset they have for their streaming service. I believe it's marketing, because like they usually wouldn't market a movie as much as they would a theatrical film if it was just going to Amazon Prime. So all they really are concerned with making back is the marketing budget for any of these movies that they release. Or so they say. I'm sure it's nice to have a, $650 million hit like Project Hail Mary under your belt.
Yeah, for sure. I don't have anything really to say about Shusek.
No, I mean, it's nice performing. It's performing just fine, and people. It's not having. It has some pretty solid legs just because it got good reviews, and it's easy for families to go see on a matinee showing or a discount Tuesday or something like that. Yeah, it's performing well. Yeah.
Moving on.
A movie that did not perform as well as especially we thought it would, and I think many others as well, is a real mouthful of a title here, so I'll just say it again. Billie Eilish, Hit Me Hard and Soft, the tour live in 3D.
Can we just do like half of those?
I also have to. I gotta
Jimmy,
say something.
Come on.
I gotta call a timeout. I gotta throw a flag on the play. Not live.
Oh well, of course not. Yeah.
Why do you say live in 3D? It's not live.
No, that's bizarre.
It's not a live streamed thing.
It was when they filmed it, Tanner.
Many things are, in fact,
Tanner, it was
live
3D
when you film
filmed
them.
Because it was real life.
God, how many dimensions are we operating in right now? 4 or 5? How even think about it? But no, this is a concert film that is co-directed by Billie Eilish and James Cameron. It reviewed well with an A cinema score and 91% on Rotten Tomatoes, a 7.6 on IMDb, but was pretty soft at the box office. I mean, it was basically acquired by Paramount for $20 million. That's the listed budget I see out there. Sure. I think that was the acquisition budget. It has only made 25 so far at the worldwide box office, and it's pulled from theaters now. It was in theaters for 2 weeks, and Paramount pulled it.
Important to note. So was that like a thing that they put out a press release like, "Oh, we're not doing this anymore," or was it a 2-week limited release?
I think Paramount. I think it's sort of like a policy of theirs. It seems. I think it's also dependent on I have some notes about it here, but what access they had to PLF 3D screens, etc., etc. I mean, 2 weeks after this is when Mandalorian and Grogu comes out and takes control of all those large format and 3D screens, and so they didn't really have the ground to stand on there anymore. And this movie was supposed to come out in March of this year and got pushed back because Cameron was apparently perfecting the 3D presentation and everything of it. And this was literally the last week that it could come out in the spring/summer window, because otherwise it's all IMAX and 3D things that are blockbusters that are taking up all these screens. So they waited to the last possible second to get this out for this window of time this year. And I don't know. It's weird that, Billie Eilish is a massive pop star. Yeah. We both kind of assumed that this wouldn't be as huge as an Eras tour or anything like that, but would be something of an echo of that. It's a very distant echo, though. Yeah. It opened to $7 million. It was way, way smaller than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. I also think that, frankly, for us as film-going people, the name James Cameron is not thrown around that often. And when it is, he's at the top of the world, and he has been for straight up 30 years.
He's the king of the world in some ways.
That'd be ridiculous.
No, okay, sorry.
Too far, yeah. Come on, what the fuck?
Sorry, my bad.
But I frankly think also I think that's a big part of why I was confident in predicting this so high, is it was James Cameron's a name that film-going audiences are going to want, so maybe that expands the sort of reach of a concert tour movie in terms of its directorial quality to more broader film-going audiences, or film cinephile kind of people. And also I thought maybe he would try to promote it a little bit stronger. Again, he doesn't direct things that often.
No, he mostly only directs avatars now. I don't know if you've noticed, Tucker.
Yeah, but so I'm surprised to see this being soft just all around, because those are two of the biggest names in entertainment history, Billie Eilish and James Cameron, and I think they're probably also. They're both so fucking rich. It doesn't matter. But
it doesn't really matter.
The two of them would probably be this would be cool to do, right? This isn't them being oh, we're expecting this is gonna be a massive hit for us. They probably wanted it to be bigger, but no. At the end of the day, it's they're probably you know what, we did it. Like, it was cool to make.
Yeah, I think especially for Cameron, I feel like it's a cool to make thing. I think, honestly, what he was doing is, because I did go see this. I don't know if I made that clear. It's fine. It's a pretty solid concert movie, all things considered. But I did go to see it in 3D, as did 57% of the opening weekend audience went to go see it in 3D. For a movie that's advertised to be like, there's 3D in the title, you would hope for that number to be
which is rare now.
You would hope for that number to be a little bit higher, in my estimation. I mean, 32% from general PLF as well. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. But anyway, it's a perfectly fine concert movie, and the 3D stuff is like pretty good, fine, passable. I was expecting like something crazy from Cameron doing this 3D technology stuff. I think that's honestly why he made this movie. I mean, he's talked about how like he like met Billie Eilish through like her parents and his wife being involved in like vegan activism events.
Wild. What the hell?
Yeah, I think that's how they've met, basically. And like, you know, he's very, you know, interested in her position as a like giant pop star across the world and stuff like that. And basically took this opportunity, I feel, a little bit to test out some proprietary 3D technology. I have it there. It's a VR 3D technology that's a collaboration between James Cameron's sort of technology-facing Lightstorm Vision. You know, Lightstorm is obviously the production company that on all those James Cameron movies. And then Meta as well, which we would know as Mark Zuckerberg's company that owns Facebook and Instagram and fucking WhatsApp and all that shit, and VR and AI and all this different crap. But no, it's a 3D technology that he was really testing out, I feel, on this tour that Billie Eilish was on to make a movie to put out in theaters. I mean, you watch it, and I'm just gonna ramble about this for a second. Sorry.
It's okay.
There's like, you know, I think it's a little bit like him showing off like the new rigs and stuff like that, so that for people to pay him for this technology that he's developed. It was like, listen, you can like film stuff in 3D. Like, this is me, James Cameron, fucking 78-year-old James Cameron or something like that, like running around a stadium with a 3D camera rig on my shoulder. Like, he's shooting it himself a lot of the time. Mm-hmm. And like, you know, he's got the rig on his shoulder, and there's even segments where like Billie Eilish is walking on stage with like a little like GoPro style like 3D camera. And you're like, wow, that's really crazy. They got all that 3D technology packed down into this little handheld thing. I think that's kind of the impetus for making this movie for me.
For him.
For him, anyway, yes. I made it. They didn't credit me, but I'm also a director on this one. Yeah, I was there.
You said, because you said he was shooting it most of the time. The other time
you see him. Yeah, exactly. That's right. That's right.
Jesus.
I also have to point out something pretty funny. In the movie itself, there's segments where like Billie Eilish and James Cameron is like interviewing Billie Eilish, basically like talking to her about what it's like to be a pop star, etc., and talking about like making the movie, basically. And there's a part where he says, well, you know, this is your movie. In the credits for the movie, it's gonna say directed by Billie Eilish, and then he's like, and then at the very tiny text at the bottom says, and James Cameron. And then the actual title card on the movie is like equal sized, directed by James Cameron and Billie Eilish.
Funny. Yeah.
You fucker, James Cameron.
Let's move on.
Yeah, let's move it on. Let's move it along to Tucker, the big boy. Oh, yeah. The big hoss. Obsession. Directed by Curry Barker. This film had a production budget of less than $1 million. It was acquired by Focus Features at last year's Toronto International Film Festival for $15 million, and has gone on to make...
hold on, I'm salivating.
Yeah.
I'm just, I think about movies a lot. I just think about, you know, little indie feature, making a lot of money, like...
Mm-hmm. It has gone on to make, of course, $250 million.
It is, I believe, as you have it somewhere here, it's the biggest fucking, most profitable... budget to gross, I think, or that still Paranormal Activity?
That I don't know. I don't know if that's still Paranormal Activity. Like you truly, Tucker, for this and Backrooms, you have to really think like, okay, what are like the three that it broke so many records and is such a historic thing. You're like, what are like the 3 or 4 things that we should highlight here?
Paranormal Activity was made for $15,000. What?
It's just a fucking. I mean,
it's just like somebody in someone's house that just like put a camera.
It's just like some guy's house in fucking Albuquerque or whatever the hell.
It's so fucking funny. Oh my god, that movie made almost $200 million. Oh my god.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this movie has made more. Yes. To be fair,
but also cost magnitudes more. If 15,000 is correct.
Certainly. But yeah, I mean, this is a historic thing. There's literally never been anything like Obsession that has come out at the box office.
Yes.
The response to it is absolutely mind blowing and mind reeling. I mean, like, I don't even know how or like why this happened. It's just like
yeah.
It's just one of those indescribable sort of things. Yeah. It's like it's hard to put a pin in. It just hit the zeitgeist in such a way that like people who don't go to movies, who go to movies like once a year to go see Star Wars or Marvel or something, went to the movie theater to see this movie. Yes. It never happens.
And it also is important to note that like, you're right. I can't point to why this one's particular, because like this is just like it's a violent, intense horror movie. Like it's like there's not like some twist on it that makes it like more palatable for a wider audience than usual.
Yeah. I
like,
mean,
other than like, it's really good, which it is, and we both love the movie.
I mean, like... obviously, we've been talking about for the last several years that like horror is obviously a safe bet at the box office, but it's a safe bet in that you'll make your money back, yes. And like there's always an inbuilt audience, and there's a ceiling on these things. This is one of the top 10 highest grossing horror movies at the domestic box office ever.
Oh my god! I didn't even know that. Oh my god!
Yeah, I just saw that today. Like and that's something that you get with like major studio titles and major directors coming in.
I'm
and stuff like that.
I'm goosebumping.
Yeah, exactly. It's absolutely insane, and like we talk about the why, and we can talk about the what's the word I'm looking for here, Tucker? Like the
je ne sais quoi.
The je ne sais quoi. Yes. No, the basically the titles that it has, the successes, the historic things that it has, accolades, yes. Thank you, that it has under its belt. But like, just going back to the why for a second, like I've seen people try and put their finger on why this one hit the zeitgeist so hard, and why, especially like young audiences, 20-year-olds, Gen Z is like coming out to the theater so hard for this movie. And like, is it something about like the themes that it's tackling? Is it something about the characters and how they are conveyed, and like the relationship stuff? There's a lot of discussion culturally just about like young people and dating culture and things like that. Is this movie that taps into that?
I think this movie, and actually in an interesting way, even more so than Backrooms, which we'll get to in a little bit, I think the X factor for it is that it's made by a guy who's the age of the characters and the target audience.
Yes,
that is incredibly rare. And I mean Curry Barker and Cooper, what's his name? The guy
Cooper Tomlinson.
Yeah, they're roommates. As far as I know, they still like live together. They've been making comedy sketches for a long time. They're high school childhood friends. All the actors in the movie and the director and the writer, they're all the same age. And so I think that it like surface level on the outside, if you don't think about the production reality of it, you're like, yeah, this is another excellent horror movie. We've gotten plenty of those in the last 2 years. But like, I think part of why people might gravitate towards it a little more is that it has sort of this genuine energy to it, especially Tanner. The marketing campaign for this movie, since it's come out, of all the interviews and all of them hanging out and filming each other on set and doing little memes and Indy Navarrete going on fucking Jimmy Fallon and like all this stuff. It's like, It feels genuine. It's like they're here, they're excited to be together, they did something they're proud of, and it's reaping the benefits. That, I think, is something that a lot of the cynical Hollywood, even in the areas of, to some degree, A24 and Blumhouse and Neon, like, they're more established than the team was making this movie. They've got sort of this, like, grassroots passion that I think comes across. If you're paying attention online, if you're just interested in movies, they're like, well, I got to go support this. And I think that's really what's different. Because I was looking around, I'm like, you think about Smile and Barbarian and Longlegs and Weapons and these like breakout hit movies and new directors coming out, like Zach Kreger and like Osgood Perkins. add Curry Barker to that pile. But like, Obsession has a widespread passion for it that even though those other movies might have done somewhat similarly, I feel like Obsession is the one that is the most intense in terms of people like really being like, no, this is something special. And you can tell that because of this is the most insane part of this whole journey and why this month feels so special. Obsession is holding in a way that literally no movie ever has in the course of history.
No, absolutely.
It's like, I get these fucking headlines. They come across like my Discord, my Twitter, or whatever. I'm like, I can't believe that this is happening.
No, yeah, it's almost to a point. I mean, this movie's been out for a month now, basically. It's like, I've become numb to the fact it's like, oh, look, another historic headline for the movie Obsession and how it's performing at the box office. Yawn, cool, I know, obviously.
First film to increase 3 consecutive weeks since E.T. the Extraterrestrial.
Yeah, exactly. It's fucking crazy shit, man. It earned more on Memorial Day weekend than Avengers Endgame, the second highest grossing movie of all time.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it had the biggest second week increase for any film in wide release. Yeah. Like any and like
it fries the brain. It fries the brain.
It fries the brain. And this is all happening going back to what we were just talking about because like it is having this extremely like natural word of mouth growth to it. Exactly. Like it is grabbing onto people and people are recommending it and talking about it on social media platforms and talking about the discourse and the theories and etc. etc. Yeah. A lot of which I find to be very stupid, in fact, because frankly, the more people that have seen this movie, the worse and worse takes I see about it.
Tanner, but that's just called the law of averages. I mean, there's a lot of people.
Thus is life. Yeah. Thus is life. But no, like it does intrigue people on some level, like the subject matter and the filmmaking and the characters and everything like that. Mm-hmm. The concept itself intrigues people. It's very simple. It's got a great hook to it. It's very gripping. But lots of movies have had that. And none of them have performed like Obsession has.
Yeah, no, it's one of those all timers, and it's really exciting. And the craziest thing, Tanner, and this is I mean, this is really why this month is special. We got 2 of them.
Yeah.
We got 2 of them. We'll talk about it in a second.
Quick aside for Star Wars, The Mandalorian, and Grogu.
Oh, yeah. Welcome back, like, I don't know, like mid-2016, like, boring ass,
Tucker,
like, oh boy.
Tucker, they wish. Tucker, I think they wish.
That's true. Yeah, you think of 2016 Star Wars movie was fucking Rogue One.
Rogue One, which made $1 billion or like $1.5 billion or something like that. The Star Wars, The Mandalorian, and Grogu has made $300 million at the worldwide box office so far. It came out a few weeks ago, and so like it's not done by any means, but like it's starting to kind of look like the goose is cooked on this one.
It's done enough to where you know the trajectory for it. This is not going to have a second wind. It's just simply not possible to give them the trajectory.
No.
And so like maybe sticks around in like 340, right? Like this is something that's like, okay, that's a chunk more. We're not humping another
no, and
100 million.
Like we are exactly, and we are only getting more and more competition for it to push it out of screens. I mean, Disney has a different priority now than Mandalorian. Yeah. They're in full Toy Story mode now. So to be fair to it,
this is the first time you've ever done this, and the last time you'll ever do this.
Yeah,
be fair to
it was made far cheaper than any modern Star Wars movie.
Oh, sure.
It has a budget of $165 million. That is fair enough. The comp that we're using is not... I didn't use a mainline Star Wars movie, a Skywalker Saga film. I did the most recently released non-Skywalker Saga Star Wars film, which is solo a Star Wars story, which had a... Speaking of historically troubled production, where they had to make that movie twice, and it had a total end budget of $365 million. So this was a far cleaner production for Star Wars and Disney than they've had in the last several years with their theatrically released films. Even Rise of Skywalker was notably a bit of a mess behind the scenes.
What? We couldn't tell.
Yeah, you couldn't tell. So this is a far cleaner approach than they had. And the question that is obviously raised is like, did Disney ruin the cultural cachet that Star Wars has by doing the streaming series, by leaving a poor taste in people's mouths with The Rise of Skywalker and Solo even? Solo, I mean, it had an A- cinema score, but like 69% on Rotten Tomatoes, 6.9 on IMDb. I feel like the cultural tide on Solo is like extremely middling at the kindest.
Yes, totally.
And then you have these streaming series, like The Mandalorian and Grogu.
Frankly, even every pre-Solo Disney Star Wars movie has certainly, much more than Solo, had a reevaluation of like people people like Force Awakens. Actually, a lot of people, especially with Andor, like Rogue One quite a bit. And Last Jedi, that movie's gone up and down over the course of years. But like, you're right, Solo is the first one where it's like, meh. And then, certainly, we'll see if Rise of Skywalker gets its day. But this is another one where I feel like Solo is the comp for this. Of course, budgetarily, Mandalorian and Grogu. We also have to important to note, $365 budget, unadjusted for inflation. That would be like $400 million today.
Insane.
I did the inflation calculation on the budget of Rogue One, which was $200 in 2016, $279 now. And so, like, yes, this was made a lot more comparatively affordably. And because of that, actually, if this makes $340, which it could, plus it's going to be on streaming and being sold for decades, and it's plenty of merchandise, this is not an unprofitable venture for Disney.
No, exactly. That gets out to this larger conversation that like there are very few movies that end up being like unprofitable for a studio. You know, they can make back their money in all sorts of ways. This business has been around for a long time. But to speak specifically about Star Wars, I mean, like, I think there's something to them having diluted the brand and making it a streaming thing. I mean, we saw it fucking happen with some Marvel movies even. Like that's obviously what people point to is has this cultural moment has passed a little bit. I think there is something to cheapening it with streaming series, as we saw happen with the MCU and what happened with the Mandalorian itself, and Star Wars itself. But yeah, I mean, like, I don't know, am I simplifying it too much by saying, like, that is what happened to this? Or is it just simple enough to say that, like, this movie seemed kind of disposable to general audiences? Like, it's Star Wars, but it's not really Star Wars, it seems to a lot of people. I don't know.
Yeah, I think one of the interesting things about seeing a franchise that has been gone for 7 years from the theatrical landscape, but certainly has not been actually gone in the cultural consciousness, is that they had a unique opportunity to revitalize the franchise in its iconic and long-standing format of theatrically released films, but they took a softer approach to it's not a mainline movie, it's based on one of the TV shows. Like our main character, frankly, our main characters aren't like, you don't see Mando's face outside of like 2 minutes of the movie, something like that. Like
his whole thing is that he's stoic and barely speaks, and Grogu cannot speak.
Yeah, and so I think that this movie just, I mean, we definitely think with a 4.3 average down the corner there, it's a soft, flat movie with not a lot going on in it. But obviously it seems like a 62% is that the lowest Rotten Tomatoes? What did Rise of Skywalker get?
Ooh, that's a great question. I think that might be. Is that Rotten? Is Rise of Skywalker rotten?
51%. Okay, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But definitely one of the softer Star Wars movies. So people just don't really seem to care. And I think that Star Wars Episode 10 was the right way to go. And we don't even have one of those in the fucking chamber.
We can talk about what's coming up for Star Wars. We can talk about it in a second. But I think
that a Mandalorian and Grogu, if that was the second or third movie after a successful reevaluation, re-energizing of the franchise, I think it would have done a lot better. Find a way to tie it in. I think that a big part of the Star Wars mythos it being less...
Or, I'll even say this. Put this movie out 3 years ago? 4 years ago?
Totally, yeah.
Like, the fact that they dragged their fucking 2022
feet... Mandalorian Grogu?
Yeah,
as like ostensibly season 2.
Is that when season 2 was maybe 2021?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. But like, yeah, good lord. I mean, the fact that they dragged their feet so fucking long on making another Star Wars movie only hurt them in the long run, I feel.
I want you to recall 7 years after the first season. That was 2019.
Exactly. The first season precedes the Rise of Skywalker.
It does. Yes, it does. And that first season, and this is the reason why this movie was greenlit. It's a great season of TV. People loved The Mandalorian. That was one of the big cultural moments for Star Wars.
They launched Disney Plus with that show.
Yeah, and it worked.
That was like the reason to get Disney Plus. So it's like the new thing that they were offering. And yet people were really energized by it.
There's like a little bit of nostalgia for early Disney Plus shows.
I would say so. I don't think that's crazy.
WandaVision?
I think
first season Andor, there's a couple years there.
they had a monopoly on the cultural consciousness. Yeah. Lots of people had Disney Plus, and lots of people were watching these shows. And now, it's become the streaming thing of it's just so bloated and diluted and et cetera, et cetera.
And you're on Book of Boba Fett and Echo and
exactly.
I'm not fucking tuning into fucking Agatha and House of Harkness. It's not even called that anymore.
Exactly. No, it's not. No. But yeah, I think there's just a confluence of issues here, and then the downstream effect of it is I just want to point a couple of these things out because it's insane to me. It's coming off of our Obsession discussion. This movie was number one. The new Star Wars movie was number one at the domestic box office for 5 days.
Oh, it's so bad. Oh my god, it's so bad.
It was dethroned by Obsession.
Jesus fuck.
And then Backrooms came out, and then it even fell behind like The Amazing Digital Circus on the Friday that came out. It's fucking crazy, man. No, this is really embarrassing. And I was working on these slides last night while I was talking with you and Abram, who has a review up of The Mandalorian and Grogu, to get his thoughts. He's not a huge fan either, but probably
which is crazy.
Which is crazy. But he said, when I said this last night to you guys, he was like, that's embarrassing.
Yeah.
That IMAX cut the 3-week exclusive run for The Mandalorian and Grogu short after 2 weeks for Masters of the Universe. This film was performing at so far below expectations in IMAX and PLF screens that IMAX decided to move over to another movie that was bombing at the box office.
Yeah, but something that at least was at that point
new,
unproven,
fresh.
Unnew. They didn't know, right? How
something else. Yeah, exactly. And yes, its second weekend was 70%. It was a 70% drop, falling to number 3 before we, behind Obsession and Backrooms, as we will talk about. Is anything else to say on Mandalorian and Grogu, Tucker? I feel like you had a point that you were going to
Star Wars Decade of Embarrassment or whatever. What's the thing?
Star Wars. I want to talk about this quickly. So next year, in what do we have? Like 8 months from now, we are getting the 50th anniversary re-release of A New Hope.
Sure, but actually, I gotta pause things real quick.
Okay.
Star Wars is back in theaters. People are talking about Star Wars again, more in the movie sphere. I think one of the most annoying kind of guys is the 50-plus-year-old guy who's like, no one should call it A New Hope. That movie's called Star Wars. Anyone who calls it A New Hope is like, a fake fan or whatever. It's like, shut the fuck up. It's been called A New Hope longer than it was called Star Wars, okay? That's one of my least favorite kind of guys.
Okay, fair enough. A New Hope, Star Wars: A New Hope is coming out in theaters.
Star Wars Episode 4: A New Hope.
Exactly. It's coming out in theaters in February of 2027 for the 50th anniversary. It is the print of the movie that was long thought gone. Not gone, but like Lucas and Lucasfilm and Disney were like, don't worry about it. No, the Lucas vision, this is the real definitive, the remaster of Star Wars that came out in the 90s that adds a bunch of stupid CGI shit that nobody likes except for George Lucas. That's the real version of the movie now.
Yeah.
And you're like, seriously? And then it took fucking 30 years for them to be like, okay, here's the original version of the movie that you can go see in theaters.
I've never seen New Hope in theaters, so I might go.
Me neither.
I love it.
Absolutely, I'm gonna check it out. I honestly think that movie will perform very well for like a re-release.
Disney loves doing a re-release of an old movie and it doing exceptionally well.
Exactly. And
frankly,
then
everyone
later,
does.
And of course, later that year, less than a year from now, we will get Star Wars Starfighter, starring Ryan Gosling, directed by Sean Levy. And like, do you think that will perform better than The Mandalorian and Grogu? Because I think it will. I think it will.
I hope so, because I hope it's better. I hope I think I hope the previews are stronger. The trailers and things. I think that would at least feel fresh, right? I think Mandalorian and Grogu.
I think
that's
the big thing for me
at this point.
Yeah.
I hope so, because I like Star Wars and I want to see it be good. I want to see myself be excited for it.
I like Star Wars too.
But I'm not confident in saying that, because it is another new character spin-off, not mainline thing. Like, I don't know. Like,
and I'll take this opportunity to spin a little rumor that I saw on Twitter. So who fucking knows if this is true? But apparently, the idea is that because Star Wars Starfighter, the plot of it is like Ryan Gosling is like a ex-rebellion Starfighter guy, and he's been hired by this a parent to take her child across the galaxy for some reason. And apparently that's because this kid is force sensitive, and apparently, again, maybe spoilers, maybe this is made up by somebody on Twitter, I don't know. The end of that movie is he delivers the kid rather to Rey's new Jedi Academy.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
I guess that didn't line up, but yeah, I guess he'd be like an ex-First Order pilot. We don't know what period of time this film takes place in, but that is the rumor mill that I've heard, is that this Star Wars Starfighter is basically a backdoor intro to, like, the next Star Wars trilogy, where it's going to be led by Rey.
We just got a trilogy led by Rey.
Well, I don't know. That's what I've heard. Because apparently that movie is happening, like the Rey movie is happening too, very slowly, very quietly, from what we've heard, but...
Where's Taika? Put out your fucking movie, Taika.
No, I think I'm good. I'm good, Val. I'm good.
Oh, Lord. All right.
Backrooms. So, on a budget of $10 million, Backrooms in 2 weeks of release, 3 weeks of release, 3 weeks, right?
May 29th?
3? No, 2.
Yeah,
2. It's been 2. Mm-hmm. Has made $229 million so far. It is a massive hit. It opened to $81 million. That is the biggest opening weekend for A24. Yeah. The biggest opening weekend for an original horror movie. And became I'm just going to go through all of these. Became the highest grossing A24 film in 10 days. And made Kane Parsons the youngest ever filmmaker to direct a film that was number 1 at the domestic box office.
Again, we said it earlier. B- CineScore is the only potentially soft thing you could put at this movie. Everything else is legendary. And we mentioned this Obsession, and like that to me maybe feels like more of the story of the month, because it felt a little bit more surprising, right?
I think so too.
It didn't quite have the same names behind it that Backrooms being produced by Jason Blum and James Wan did, being A24, which is bigger than Focus Features, or at least more culturally prevalent. Backrooms also being based on an IP, right? So it has these things going for it. But also, Tanner, all of those things are why, also it being a very good movie, we liked it quite a bit, are why it's ultimately probably going to be bigger than Obsession, or at least the movies are comparable. But like it's been out half comparable. The time. So, and it's already basically at the same. Like I'm not taking a side either one. I love both these movies. I think the two of them together are one of the great cultural cinematic moments.
The two of them together have presumably caused has caused like a tidal wave, a ripple of like, oh shit kind of moment in Hollywood. Yeah. Coupled with the relative flop of Star Wars, Mandalorian, and Grogu. Yeah. Like that was the only conversation that people were having about the box office 2 weeks ago, was Star Wars is bombing, and these two indie horror movies that cost less than $20 million.
That's the only thing people are talking about 3 weeks later. We're still talking about that.
These two horror movies that are directed by people under the age of 30 that were made for less than $12 million combined.
Oh my god!
Have made $500 million.
Yes, and will end up making surprisingly comparable money to a Star Wars movie, and are actually outpacing in some areas. Yeah, it's phenomenal. And I think that, again, another area where you can see two different paths to success from Obsession, which, as I mentioned, I think part of its excitement and part of the reason why it's doing so well is it does feel very fresh. These are mostly actors that people have never heard of before. It feels like kind of a grassroots new thing. Backrooms, on the other hand, another thing that is great to put butts in seats is high caliber actors that you recognize from other things that might, quote unquote, lull another audience member into going to see a movie. It's like, oh, well, Chiwetel Ejiofor is like a phenomenal actor who's been nominated and won Oscars. Like,
not to Ryan's, but I just saw her I saw that she was nominated for an Oscar last year or earlier this year.
Yeah. Exactly. And I don't know like how many people average people know this, but like having James Wan and Jason Blum as producers behind this movie is like, like. These are good things.
Yeah. People on film Twitter will deride this, and we've talked about this a couple times before. Basically, any time that A24 has a hit like this, but like A24 is a brand to a lot of people, especially a lot of young film goers. Yeah. Like seeing A24 accompanied with the Backrooms movie, probably brought a lot of young people in.
Yeah, yeah, and also the thing that brought young people in is that this is a in terms of something being established as a quote unquote IP, which Backrooms kind of is, but not like it's hard to like describe exactly what it is.
Directed by the guy who made who made it famous, basically. Exactly.
But it also feels like, frankly, it's our thing, right? I think that's why young people are jazzed by it. Like, we're fans of Marvel. We are fans of Star Wars. Most people our age are, but in some way, it's not our thing because Marvel's been around for 100 plus years.
Those things have been handed down across decades, across generations.
Our parents showed us Batman 1989, and
my uncle got me Spider-Man on DVD.
Yes.
You know, the Sam Raimi movie, and like that's what kickstarted. That was the first thing for me, and like exactly.
Yeah, but Backrooms is something that didn't exist. I think like is the 4chan post like late 2019 or something like that. Or,
hey buddy, you probably know better than I would.
But regardless, it is young. It is the idea and the popularity of it is new enough to where it represents something that is culturally distinct for specifically 2020's culture, internet culture, horror culture, liminal spaces. These things that have been lightly touched upon or tried to be touched upon in theatrically released films, but never, and again, as genuine a way as this.
Yeah.
It would have been so fucking easy, Tanner, for A24, for Blumhouse, for Atomic Monster to see Backrooms, realize this isn't even something we need to pay for. It's like a thing. Yeah. It's like, it's not, no one has the rights to
Who owns it? Yeah, that's exactly.
And they could have just been like, hey, guy who made fucking Night Swim, make a Backrooms movie in a week and a half, and we'll shit it out into theaters. But they didn't. They letting Kane Parsons direct a movie with multiple Oscar caliber actors in it is one of the riskiest moves that a studio has made.
He was 19, mind you, he was making this movie when he was 19
mind you,
years old.
we're in a pandemic.
Mind you, we're in a damn pandemic. So yeah, I mean, the thing with Obsession and Backrooms is that they feel authentic in a lot of ways. They feel authentic to young audiences who have been clamoring and asking for and even glomming onto things in the last several years that feel more that feel sort of catered to them, not in a condescending way.
Yeah.
It's why every so often when we do get a surprise box office hit, it's really motivated by Gen Z moviegoers. Like this feels like the most clear and concise and loud exclamation of like, make movies like this that do these things by these people, and you will they will be successful. This is how you get the young audiences out to theaters. A thing that has plagued studios for many years at this point. Is the sort of like the fickleness they saw in Gen Z audiences or whatever. Even though reports of earlier this year, last year, was like Gen Z are going to movies more than any other generation now. And so
in this moment,
in this moment,
but it was a thing that was comparatively a little bit difficult to convince people our age who have grown up with video games and social media and short form content and YouTube to go out and spend $20 because if you don't have a subscription, that's what it costs to go to the movies nowadays. But I also think that there's a chance that because this kind of small scale filmmaking, low budget, these things are easier to iterate on and experiment with. I think there's a chance that both these movies will inspire a Hollywood studio system to do these kind of small risks and see how often they pay off and bring people our age more out to theaters than they usually would. Even with Curry Barker, he's already got a movie that I believe is done shooting and like is coming out kind of soon.
Anything But Ghosts probably comes out late this year, maybe early next year. But like, yeah, and then of course he's been attached to the reboot of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre at A24.
Dude, oh my god, oh my god, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That movie's gonna make so much money.
I think I probably will. Yeah. I think what I am worried about, yes, is always the thing that people say is Hollywood will always take the wrong lessons away from successes like this, and I'm worried that they'll be like, oh, relegate young filmmakers to horror movies. Sure. It works, and like I mean, yes, horror movies are more often than not profitable and successful, etc. I'm also worried that they'll make bad calls on what internet phenomena they should make a movie about. Maybe like shitty versions of things and stuff like that.
Tanner, SCP movie in the next 3 years, please, Tucker, God Almighty.
It's probably not crazy to say that.
I will shit my pants. But just like an anecdotal example of how specifically this film, Backrooms, has excited people of our generation going to films, and even people who aren't as strong of film goers as we are. We're very much outside of the norm. I took I think I took the biggest group of people I've maybe ever taken to a movie, specifically to Backrooms. I bought 14 tickets to go to Backrooms. Yeah. And I outside of that, it's like, oh, it was my birthday and I took people to see Dunkirk or The Meg or whatever, like whatever was out during my birthday party. But like, this is something that people were just authentically interested in. I sent out a call to people I knew, and they're like, most people I knew were like, yeah, of course I'm going to see Backrooms. I can't wait.
Obviously. Exactly. Yeah. It's really, really interesting, and I think very healthy so far. I would say so far.
Yeah, it's something that can be corrupted. I think it's important to appreciate things as the quality and the genuine energy is flowing, but recognize that, like, set up your guard of like, it's not going to stay that way. Like,
man, the money interest in Hollywood, they're circling. The vultures are circling. Absolutely.
Yeah, and let's just hope they don't get Kane Parsons, who's only 20 years old.
Yeah, well, yes. Okay, should we talk about stuff that was last
month?
Talk about fucking things that were last time on fucking Backlot Banter. How about that, huh?
Yeah, you hit the slide with a little bit of a redesign here, didn't you?
I did redesign the slide. I think it's a little bit more visually pleasing.
It
was a lot empty space.
Now that you're the guy doing this most of the time, redesign the other side as you want. I don't give a shit. I literally designed these in what?
I won't.
2022?
Fuck you.
Oh!
But no, yes, I did redesign this one. I got rid of the empty space that existed, and yeah, I'm just looking at here. It's also, we're hitting like week 10 on like Super Mario Galaxy, and it crossed $1 billion.
It did. Congratulations.
Crossed $1 billion. First film of 2026 to do so. Let's see. We got some other ones here. The drama has made $130 million so far. I mean, who remembers fucking a month ago us being like, whoa, what a crazy hit for A24. Can you believe this?
Yeah.
And now that's chopped liver over here.
And frankly, also
only $130 million
we were
saying
something
weeks?
Similar about Lee Cronin's Mummy. We're like, hey, that's a good hit for Blumhouse, who usually plays in a little bit softer league, or who often does. But now now they've got a different one.
Yeah. And then Michael.
Also, I just gotta quickly mention.
Okay.
For Backrooms and Obsession, I think another one of the elements of these movies that has helped them to connect so strongly culturally is that there is this cross support between the teams of those two movies. Both the studios that are producing them, Focus and A24, are like promoting, making memes of the other movies, showing double features of them. I don't know if I've seen it, but they have to be like Curry Barker and Kane Parsons in a room, like yapping it up for an hour, and that's gonna get 300,000 views on YouTube.
Variety will probably make that happen at some point. They'll probably make that happen.
Yeah. But yeah, that's just one thing.
Michael, yeah, that's totally fine. And then obviously another big story is hasn't crossed $1 billion and probably won't. But Michael has made $900 million.
Tanner, it's holding really well. I think the Michael Jackson biopic might just stick around and like juice long enough to like
I believe it just opened in Japan, which is sort of like an anticipated market, because Michael Jackson is famous worldwide, obviously, but like has a specifically fervent following in Japan.
Japan might not have $100 million for it.
Probably not, but
still,
like maybe
it'll help get it way closer.
940, 950.
Sure, yeah, which is great for them.
Yeah. I was about to say happy for you. I don't know.
I don't know if I am, but it's happening.
Financially, very good for that company.
Yes, let's put it that way.
And the moneyed interests that are involved.
It is important to note, like, we're coming out of a really strong month, the strongest month of the box office since 2019.
I got the graph coming up.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. But last month was actually great too. Honestly, we had a horror movie, we had a drama, we had a biopic, we had an animated
film. Which one is
that?
Which one is that?
And if we look at those, you mean Tuscany only making an extra $1 million. Frankly, that's fucking sad. But whatever. That's another 4 movies in the previous month that also brought people out into theaters in very different demographics. Most of these movies were well received for their target demographics. So like we are in a little bit of a hot streak right now, and we can only hope that it'll carry into this month, which I think we're feeling some decently.
We'll talk about it. We'll make some predictions. Don't you worry. So let's Tucker. We've been talking about a lot of important stuff so far, but let's talk about the most important thing. What you and I thought of the movies of May 2025 compared to May 2026.
Yes.
Little worse, I would say. Well, the average is out. It is a little worse. We only saw one movie that we both. Oh no, you didn't see Lilo and Stitch. That's right.
No, still haven't. No,
still haven't. So there's only one quite low score.
Let's score would be higher if I'd seen it.
Yeah, probably.
Not by much, but it'd be higher.
It swings and roundabouts. You didn't like Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. I did last year. But we were both pretty high on. We were both positive on Thunderbolts and Final Destination and Bring Her Back.
Great movies.
Pretty middling on Karate Kid Legends. But also, you just look at that. You look at those numbers. It was like, that was a pretty decent month. Yeah, but you even had like Karate Kid Legends was an underperformer. Thunderbolts was like a. Is this the new normal for Marvel now? Yeah. That was the conversation around that. Final Reckoning was more successful than Dead Reckoning, but even then,
Lilo and Stitch made $1 billion.
It did. Okay, it did. That was the first $1 billion movie of last year because again, like Michael and Minecraft, Minecraft was only like a 950 kind of thing. Yeah.
What about Minecraft movie Squared? I guess we might talk about that, but
yeah. But no, this year, movies were performing broadly better. Obviously, we already talked about the surprise hits, but we were both middling on Devil Wears Prada 2, as we talked about, negative on Mortal Kombat, or averaged out to be negative on Mortal Kombat, and both negative on Mandalorian and Grogu.
Yep. It's fine. Ultimately, when we do these, I have very different goals when we're doing different kinds of videos. When we're doing a review, I am happy to be as blunt and honest and very subjective as I can be. I think that's a point of review, and I think we're very good at it. Given that you and I straight up have reviewed like 450 movies together, like 500, frankly. Over the course of years. But with this, I look at this and I'm like, okay, average of 6.2. That's not great. I wish Mandalorian and Grogu was a much better movie, frankly. I wish that Mortal Kombat 2. I mean, I like that movie plenty enough, but I wish it was stronger.
I wish I had liked Devil Wears Prada 2 as much as I liked the first one.
Of course. But the goal of this kind of video is like, this is the fucking business hat, right? We're like looking at these things, and middling month for us. But when we think back to this month, we're not going to think, oh, Mando was mid. We're going to be like, this was one of the craziest fucking months to be tuned into. So it's like, it's a good thing.
And because it's here, and we'll see it on the next graph slide as well. Remember how fucking dire everyone was responding to the box office in 2024?
Sure, oh, absolutely.
When Fall Guy underperforms, when Furiosa flopped, when like I guess Garfield is doing pretty good, and like I guess Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is doing pretty good.
Yeah, that was the best we could say. Yeah.
Crazy stuff. Let's take a look at the graph, the month by month domestic box office graph. We're tracking from the years 23 to 2026, and we're way up. I feel blessed. 2026, May 2026. Look at this. We're outperforming. We'll see what the trajectory continues to look like across the rest of the summer. Obviously, that's where the peak is every single year, as you can see by this graph.
July.
Will it continue to climb and maybe reach that July 2023 high point?
Maybe.
I
mean, that's when Spider-Man and Odyssey are. So
Spider-Man's at the end of July, so if anything, that peak would be it would be in August.
Oh, sure. I mean, yes, but it's still gonna have like a worldwide $400 million opening or whatever, and so
yeah, something like that. For definitely. But it's literally a one day in July kind of thing. Yeah. But yeah, Odyssey obviously opens in July. I mean, we'll get the new Minions movie opening in July. And
Minions and Monsters not gonna be that big.
Well, no, I was able to talk about it. We won't talk about it this month, because we got to talk about the stuff for June.
Yes, it's true.
Yes, we'll do a quick update of the top 10 highest grossing films domestically and globally.
Okay, can I give you a quick thing to do for next month, or maybe just do it for our own edification at some point? I would like to see 2019 versus these years.
Okay, I can do that. Yeah, I can definitely do that.
Yeah, just as a comparison point. All right, so updated look at the top 10 highest grossing domestic movies of 2026. 4 new movies here, Tanner. We talked about all 4 of these movies. Obviously, Devil Wears Prada 2, Obsession, Mandalorian, Grogu, and Backrooms all have made over $100 million domestically. And it'll be really interesting to see, specifically, strong month. Really excited about the fact that so many movies are being so well received domestically here. How many of these movies are able to stick it out till the end of the year? Do you think, Tanner, God, do you think Obsession is one of the top 10 highest grossing domestic movies of the year by the end of the year? I don't know.
Okay. Let's think.
I don't know.
169. I mean, it's gonna keep going. It'll hit. I mean, I've seen people talking about that it could do over 200 domestic. God. Well, at which point, I guess safe. It would be.
Yeah, and that would make this year a very good year if 10 movies made more than $200 million domestic.
Yes, it definitely.
Wow. Also, Backrooms will also hit 200.
Probably.
That's fucking crazy.
So, that's nuts, man.
Wow,
that's nuts.
3.
Hang on, I just got to look at the release calendar and be like, okay, what's coming out that'll make over $200 million domestic?
Well, Spider-Man, Toy Story, and
Toy Story, Odyssey. Each Supergirl does over 200 domestic.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Then nothing in August or September most likely. I mean, Practical Magic 2 will be a hit as we discussed, but I don't think so. Resident Evil will be a hit, but I don't think so.
Minions and Monsters will make 200.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. So that's
what's the holiday movies? Yeah, that's 4
holiday season movies. For Thanksgiving, we have Hunger Games. I think that will
200, maybe.
I think it will. I think that movie. We'll talk about it in a number of months, obviously. But I think that'll be a really big.
Malice Hunger Snakes made 166, so 200 is.
I think it'll be bigger.
But okay. So I'll say 4.5 for that one.
Okay. And then Dune. Yes. Avengers. Yes. Obviously.
6.5.
Jumanji. New Jumanji.
Maybe.
200 million domestic.
Maybe. What's the Disney movie?
Disney movie Avengers.
No. What's the animated the Walt Disney animated movie?
Hexed. Sorry. Yes.
Who knows?
Who knows? Think so.
Yeah, who knows?
Think so. And then Angry Birds.
Probably not. Okay, so that's
not.
Maybe 7 movies. Jesus, that'll make 200 domestic. Tanner,
maybe Obsession won't be in there. Maybe Backrooms won't be in there.
Are we so fucking back?
We are back in a big way. We are back in a big way for the rest of the year.
That's amazing.
We could talk about the worldwide as well. The same 4 movies are here, just in a little bit of a different order, obviously. Mm-hmm. Backrooms at number 10, 229. And obviously, Devil Wears Prada popped into that top 5 with $666 million worldwide. Mandalorian and Obsession hanging out at number 7 and 8.
Important to note, only one non-American movie on here with Pegasus 3.
Yeah, even a month ago there was like 2 or 3 on here. But Pegasus 3 is the only one hanging in at $650 million worldwide.
God, I wish we had more access to the Chinese box office and Chinese movies. God.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
That'd be neat.
But yeah, amazing month, just all around. Wow.
All right, Tucker, we got headlines to talk about, and then we'll hit June, and then we are fucking out of here. All right.
Get out of here.
Greta Gerwig's Narnia: The Magician's Nephew, which is now the official title of that movie. We were just calling it Chronicles of Narnia for a long time. I think they confirmed that's the title. Narnia: The Magician's Nephew has been delayed to February 12th of next year, with a planned 45-day theatrical window. Now, you might be asking yourself, oh, why is that such a big deal? Well, dear viewer, recall that this is a Netflix movie that is getting a 45-day theatrical window.
Tanner.
Not IMAX exclusivity. This is a wide theatrical release.
Tanner, nature is healing. I think I just heard a bird chirping outside.
Hello. Yes. It's very, very exciting that, there's been back and forth, news releases and backroom talkings from Netflix about, how much they are willing to concede to these filmmakers' demands. Yeah. Because as we've come to understand, this was a clear Greta Gerwig demand.
Yeah, of course.
Tanner,
how do we think Rian Johnson feels about all this?
I would wager that he's probably a little.
You see how Gerwig and Fincher are being treated? He's like, man? I tried.
For Rian Johnson, he has fulfilled his two movie contractual agreement with Netflix for the Knives Out trilogy. He is free. He is free to do what he will with whatever he wants to take that series. Maybe he goes back and he's like, I want the Gerwig treatment. Sure. I want the Gerwig treatment, man.
Fair enough. And frankly,
yeah,
if this becomes something that Gerwig sets the precedent. Let's bring in the conversation here. Netflix will give Adventures of Cliff Booth a 2-week IMAX.
Yes. So that was when Narnia was supposed to come out, was this Thanksgiving season. Adventures of Cliff Booth now is going to have that IMAX exclusivity for 2 weeks. I have an inkling that might get blown out to be maybe not IMAX exclusive. Maybe that's a little bit wider than just IMAX screens. Yeah. I'm feeling those motions in the water. I'm feeling the waves a little bit. But we'll see. We'll see. Because just recently somebody at Netflix was like, oh, no guys, theatrical is not a business that we're interested in wholeheartedly, It's like, so what, which is it is my kind of contention.
But like when Narnia makes like a freaking gillion dollars in 45 days, like, God damn.
Huh. Yeah. But yeah, so I think that especially that comment that I just mentioned from a Netflix exec is probably a stop trying to put a cork in people who work with them asking for the Gerwig treatment.
Yeah, but I don't think it's going to stop people from asking.
Can't put that genie back in the bottle.
No.
Can't put that genie back in the bottle. And it's good for you. Listen to me, Netflix. It's good. It's free money. Take the free money. We want to give you the money to see the movie in theaters. Take it. Just take the money.
Jesus Christ, man. Yeah.
Anyway.
Because, let's be real. It's not like people are going to stop subscribing to Netflix to watch all the other bullshit on there.
People watched all sorts of crap on Netflix, and then after 45 days, they can go watch it there again. They can put it on for their fucking snot-nosed kids that they don't want to take to the movie theater.
Guys, there's no downsides.
There's no downside. The only downside is that, you have to admit that, killing movie theaters, which was kind of your goal, I guess, or something, or, providing an alternative, was never really a justifiable business plan. That's the only thing you don't even have to say it.
It's literally ego. It's literally ego.
Yeah. Exactly.
Moving on. Matt Shakman.
Yeah.
Apparently. I didn't hear about this. Directing the new Planet of the Apes film.
He's the one that's helming the new Planet of the Apes, which is apparently not really a sequel to Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, but also maybe kind
Tanner,
of is.
I really want to learn about Noah.
And what was the human girl's name? Let's not talk until we can remember the human girl's name.
That's not going to work. I'm not going to pull that.
I can't either. They're continuing the series, I'm sure. As we already talked about, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes was successful. Yeah. Back in 2024. Sure. Peter Jackson is writing and plans to direct a new Adventures of Tintin film. People always talk about Tintin, but now they're talking about Tintin a little bit more because there's a new Spielberg out in theaters. I'm frankly just excited that Peter Jackson is making a real movie again.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I think the only... It's true. The only Peter Jackson movie I've ever seen in theaters was Battle of the Five Armies.
That's the only one that I've seen in theaters too, Tucker. Yes, because he basically the Hobbit movie trilogy.
I watched the fucking soldiers documentary.
Oh, We Were Soldiers? Or is that what it's called?
It's
no,
Peter Jackson. They're like
the ones who never grew. They never grew up. Something like that.
Hold on. Beep 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 beep. They Shall Not Grow Old. Yeah, I saw that.
They Shall Not Grow Old. Yes, his World War One documentary.
Yeah, but it's like colorized and like animated and like.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he did the Beatles Get Back on Disney Plus as well. Like that's the mode that he's been operating in. I think he's kind of got the bug a little bit, but obviously making the Hobbit trilogy, in his own words, nearly killed him. So I think he's been pushed away from theatrical, big budget stuff for a while. But
Tanner, they always come back though. What did Jon Favreau say when he was making those fucking Marvel movies? And he just made Mandalorian and Grogu. that guy made Jungle Book and Lion King. Okay,
this is
they always come back.
The documentaries are a little bit of a toe dip. Now Jackson's putting the whole foot in the pool by making an animated movie. Okay, it's not the undertaking of a live action thing or anything. But yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, but like people don't really care about Tintin like that anymore. I'm sorry, Peter. Like I know you like read those when you were a wee lad or whatever the fuck, but like that's not gonna. Is an Adventures of Tintin movie really going to be big in the 2020s?
What did the 2011 one make? I mean, Tintin is probably about as big as now as he was in 2011 or whatever.
Adventures of Tintin 2011, 373. That's not terrible.
Not terrible, but that was also had a Spielberg name attached to it.
Yeah,
Jackson coming back to do this, I think will maybe strike audiences that's a little weird, but I think that there might be some interest
if it ends up happening.
Yeah, if it ends up happening. David Ayers is correcting.
Yes, I love talking about David Ayers.
David Ayer is directing a new film starring Brad Pitt. It's called Heart of the Beast. It's coming out in September. It's about Brad Pitt and a dog in the woods.
I wish I was more about Channing Tatum and a dog in a hotel.
God, you and me both. I didn't see Dog actually though. We got some Cannes Film Festival news. Neon acquires Fjord, and it has continued their run of releasing the Palme d'Or winners. It's obviously a hopeful for the Oscars next year. They'll probably receive a domestic release, sure. October and November of this year.
And as I think we discussed a couple days ago, Neon's gonna fucking blow up the whole operation the moment they're not allowed to release the next fucking Palme d'Or winner,
right? Whenever that is gonna happen,
they're like, we done enough here. They're just all fucking suicide pact.
What's even the fucking point? The prequel, the Rambo prequel, titled John Rambo. Did you know this was happening, Tucker?
Tanner, I gotta be honest, that sounds like a joke. Because people call they're like, oh, Mandalorian is John Star Wars or whatever. Like people make that joke about bullshit.
Yeah,
they call Yuji and Jujutsu Kaisen John Kaisen. Like John Rambo. We can't be doing that.
Do you think this is the origin of that joke? Because everyone knows the series as Rambo, but his name literally is John Rambo.
Might be, man.
Yeah. Anyway, that movie's coming out June 4th of 2027. I believe it's Noah Centineo is John Rambo.
Sure, man.
He was supposed to be. Do you ever remember, Tucker, that he was supposed to be He-Man, like in Masters of the Universe? He was originally cast. Yeah. I gotta look.
Directed by the Sisu director.
Oh, that's right. That's
kind of cool. Sisu's solid.
Probably look pretty sick.
I didn't
be some sick kills.
Road to Revenge though.
That's pretty good. About as good as the first one.
Sure. Huh.
Yeah.
I will be honest. Hearing that a cool modern action director is doing that, I'm like, okay, this isn't some bullshit. I mean, it's kind of some
it's not some hack like David Ayer directing this movie. Yeah. IMAX ticket sales for the Odyssey reached 150,000 in 24 hours.
These are so fucking back.
Oppenheimer, for anyone keeping track, was at like 60 or 65,000 sales in the first 24 hours. So yeah, I think the Odyssey is gonna be pretty big, pretty big. I think.
Big.
Yes. I gotta rant for a second here. I gotta rant about this because I was there front lines trying to get IMAX tickets on that morning that the Odyssey IMAX tickets went on sale, and I saw all sorts of people fucking complaining and canterwalling about like, oh, why have movies become like this? It shouldn't be hard to get an IMAX ticket like it is like getting a concert ticket, blah, blah, blah. I saw all sorts of belly aching about this. And first of all, I gotta say, just come out and say you're sad you couldn't get your Odyssey IMAX ticket. Just admit it. And B, I must say, like, people saying that they don't want getting a movie ticket to be like getting a concert ticket. I was like, okay, then don't see the movie in IMAX. You can go see it. Like, the tickets go. There are plenty of tickets you can go see it on a smaller screen, a PLF screen, anything like that. You can get those tickets. Like, I just don't get this complaint. Yeah, exactly. Like, I just don't get this complaint that, like, this is a marketing stunt, and it's working for the movie to get people excited to see a movie from an auteur director, a big movie that's not like based on any like corporate IP or anything like that. It's based on the fucking Odyssey, one of the oldest stories ever written by humanity. Yeah. And you're pissed off that like people are excited to see the movie in like a format that is bespoke to what the director's vision. Like, is that really what we're getting pissed off about here?
And for me, it's like, I just don't I don't understand what you want. Like, only so many IMAX theaters exist. Like, they have to build them specially, and people want to go see them. Like, it's what people are encountering, which is fair enough, but in the theatrical marketplace, this is kind of rare. A match of supply and demand. An outmatch, right, of supply and demand. More people want the supply, or the demand is higher than the supply, and that's very rare for a theater. Like,
and listen, I think they should build more IMAX theaters. I think that's cool, but fucking take that up with the movie theater owners who don't want to deal up with IMAX. They want to make their IMAX competitor or whatever, which I think they should also be free to do. If it's as good as IMAX, so be it. Absolutely, but that's yet to be proven that someone can make a format that's as good as IMAX. Like Dolby's there.
That's why David Keeley is
Dolby
and stuff like that. The goat.
Exactly.
Rest in peace, David Keeley. Why wasn't he at the fucking Oscars?
Precisely. Okay. Anyway, I just rant about that because that just pissed me off. I was like, you're literally complaining that the movie is going to be too successful and that people are too excited to see it. I don't understand. Okay. So the last couple of things that just developed in the last 24 hours or so. 24 Jump Street is in development at Sony. I think the writer-director, or one of the writers, took a photo of the script and posted it on Instagram, confirming that film is happening and that Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill will be returning.
Yeah, man. Sure.
Yeah. They skipped 23 Jump Street.
Is that funny? Not really.
Funny. Took so long.
Like, are they going to pretend like there was another story in the middle?
I'm sure that those movies love being like meta. We know we're in a movie, kind of, not like in a Deadpool way, but like a nudge, nudge. We're making jokes about like that we're actors in the movie. Like 22 Jump Street is fucking brimming with jokes about how like, doesn't this seem familiar to you? This seems like something that happened last time. Like it's all jokes like that.
Sure, I haven't seen 22, but I like 21 Jump Street.
I think those movies are pretty funny. The U.S. Justice Department, we're ending off with some bad news. The Justice Department has approved the merger between Paramount Skydance and Warner Brothers Discovery. This still has a long way to go. There's a contingent of like state justice departments that might challenge this, that have indicated they're going to challenge this. Internationally, the EU is moving to block this merger. So, but this is an expected thing that was going to happen. But it had happened, so we must talk about it.
Yes, it did. June.
Okay.
This
June
is one of the
2026.
farthest into a month that we've done one of these.
Yes. But, well, somebody was in fucking La La Land doing some video game shit, so we had to wait a week.
Oh well, no one gives a fuck.
Yeah. Anyway, so a couple of these movies are out, more so than previously. Masters of the Universe and Scary Movie both obviously came out. Well, actually, I'll wait. I'll wait till we talk about our opening weekend predictions. Disclosure Day is out this weekend. Power Ballad is out. Then we're looking down the barrel of the release of Toy Story 5 and The Death of Robin Hood next week. Leviticus also comes out next week. It's a horror movie. And then the end of June, we have the release of Supergirl, Jackass, Best and Last, and a limited release of The Invite from Olivia Wilde and A24. So, because, there is one opening weekend that is happened and settled at this point, I need to divulge that for my numbers, I indeed settled them before last weekend.
We trust you. We trust you, buddy.
I don't need your trust, Tucker. I got fucking photo evidence proof. I took a screenshot of my box office predictions dated June 5th, 11:23 a.m., June 5th.
Godspeed, brother.
Thank you. Anyway, should we talk about our predictions here, Tucker?
Yeah, let's do it.
So, I assume we both have Toy Story 5 at number 1. Oh, we do. Yeah, it's all the freaking same, buddy.
We just have different Disclosure Day posters.
We just have different disclosure. Don't worry, I'll fix that.
Doesn't matter, man.
No, I'm gonna fix it.
Okay.
I like the Bird Emily Blunt poster better anyway.
Sure.
Not great posters for Disclosure Day out there, I will say.
No.
A little underwhelming.
Why isn't there like an invisible person on the?
That would make a great poster. Now that's a great poster.
That'd make a great movie.
So yeah, Toy Story 5 at number 1, Supergirl number 2, Scary Movie number 3, Disclosure Day number 4, Masters of the Universe number 5. My numbers so far, I have Toy Story 5, I'm going to say is going to open to $150 million. Supergirl, 65. Scary Movie, 55. Disclosure Day, 50. And Masters of the Universe, 30.
All right, there we go.
Yeah. The only one I'm concerned about there, if really, is maybe Toy Story 5 goes higher. Like I've seen some stuff that it might go higher. Yeah. And then Supergirl, I said 65. Could be just kind of in the middle. I hope it does. But I've seen fucking 40 to 50. I've seen 75. I don't really know what's gonna shake out there. But I'm excited. We're obviously gonna go check it out and see it.
Yeah. I'm excited.
So yeah,
I think. And I hope that the momentum will carry here. I think that Supergirl and Masters of the Universe are like the two where I'm like, I don't know. Like, actually, I don't know. Like, I think that, frankly, outside of Toy Story 5, like, I'll be interested to see by the end of the month if things are surprising hits. Like, if people are carrying their movie-going energy into the month of June, or if that energy was largely spent last month. Because it's also very possible and very fair, frankly, people who aren't used to going to the movies a bunch to, like, they go 2 or 3 times in May. They're both,
and they're kind of tapped out.
They're like, I just saw 3 fucking movies. Like, I need a break.
Well, will they be motivated to be like superhero movie, Supergirl? Like, yeah, I like Superman or whatever, but do I need to go see Supergirl now? Like, it kind of I maybe hoping for a little bit of a different flavor from the DCU and James Gunn. I don't know. Toy Story 5 will obviously be successful. I think. Did we both have this pegged as the highest grossing film of this year? When we did our predictions at the beginning of the year, I believe we did. It was either I think I had this and you either had this or Avengers, but I think we both had Toy Story 5.
Yeah. Wow. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. May. Yeah. Our meaty episode for a meaty month. Thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking around with us, thinking about all this really fun shit.